many things in our spices. So up in the spice cabinet in our kitchen, there are many things that the FDA does not require us to disclose as ingredients. All of your seasonings and spices have an anti-caking agent. Hello, hey, okay, so it is Monday and I want to come online and talk to you. There was a post, let's see, I think it was this past week, but there was a post this past week about baking soda. And I want to come on and just openly talk about some confusion and how that got started, and talking about aluminum and what can contain aluminum, what does not, and some research that I've done to kind of clear that topic. In my head, I was like, how have I missed this? How have I missed that baking soda would contain aluminum? I know you can see, I'm going to show you some things here in my kitchen. So baking soda, I do not have it labeled of what brand it is or anything, but I also don't have it labeled like as paleo or anything in particular. As far as baking powder goes, this is a different story. Baking powder, I do have a very clean source of baking powder. So let's talk about these two. Let's talk about the aluminum. Let's talk about the toxins, the chemicals, and the effects that it can have on your system. So baking soda does not contain aluminum. I want to clear the air with that. I have done thorough research over the last couple of days in trying to look at all brands. Now, there are some hidden ingredients that the FDA does not require anyone to disclose. And you may have heard me talk about this earlier if you have followed me for a while. It actually resurfaced, this topic that I was invited to talk on at a wellness seminar down in Coleman several years ago. So in Coleman that year, they were actually having a seminar on essential oils and asked me to come down and talk about cooking with essential oils. And what that brought to light is that there are many things in our spices. So up in the spice cabinet in our kitchen, there are many things that the FDA does not require us to disclose as ingredients. And one of those is maltodextrin, which is a corn derivative. Again, if you follow me for a little while, my son has celiac. He also has a IgE corn allergy. So you will hear me talk about allergies. You will hear me talk about food sensitivities. You will hear me talk about food intolerances a good bit. Those immediate reactions tend to be an IgE reaction. Not always. You can have a pretty immediate reaction with a food sensitivity as well. But the corn was the biggest thing that I was having. It was a lot of confusion with our doctors. They did not discover it. We went the first 4 years of his life with him completely ill and sick. And that was an undiscovered IgE allergy that we could not figure out because it is in so many things. And when you hear people talking about an allergy, a lot of times they're like, well, why do you want to test for an IgE allergy? It is an immediate reaction. They feel like you should know that it is an allergy, kind of like a peanut allergy. And that's a good one because a lot of times that does result in anaphylaxis. Well, his never resulted in anaphylaxis. It was just complete illness. All the time, we were not able to go to preschool. We were not able to go to daycare. I had to hire an inside nanny. And still that was extremely tough. Because when you have a sick child, all they want is mama. But what I found out when we started to discover, after he was 4 and started to get down to the root of what was going on in his body, that corn was in a ton of cooking ingredients. All of your seasonings and spices have an anti-caking agent. Okay, and that is typically, it can be bone ash, y'all. That's what's disgusting. Like, none of it's even required to be labeled by the FDA. So this is what really started. Like, I've always loved to cook. I love being in the kitchen. You can ask our older 3 children. And actually, one of them was home this weekend for Claire's birthday, and she was talking about Alfredo sauce, and that she had gotten from Sam's Club. But she goes to me, Mom, I know you wouldn't buy that because your food is always so fancy. And I do love to cook. Like, I have always loved the cooking part of it, the presentation part of it, and I did not want to lose that when we brought an allergy into our home. But I'm also a very simple person. Like, it has to be simple. We are a very busy family. It has to like get on the table fast. We need to eat it. I don't like cleaning the kitchen, so I don't want a whole lot of dishes left. So believe me, it's not a complicated like chef experience, but I do like for my food to taste good. So when I found out that corn was in these spices and ingredients, and then and also found out that my son had celiac, we needed to start doing our own baking. Okay, so baking powder was that thing that I'm like, oh crap, like it has corn in it, and just about everything mentions that you need to add baking powder for the rise and for the bake, just the fluffiness. And you can make your own, and you can make your own using baking soda with a form of vinegar and let it sit. And I will tell you, it doesn't work as well. And then again, it's an extra step. And I just told you, like, I want simple. I don't want to have to keep doing all these conversions. And so I did find a paleo baking powder. It's on Amazon. And I will tell you, I ordered it. I pulled it up on my computer right before I started the live because I'm amazed. I ordered it in September of 2020. Here we're sitting in 2022. I've never reordered it. I've only ordered it one time ever. And it is made by a company called Bakewell. Like our company's Thrive Well, it is Bakewell. And it is a starch-free baking powder. It does not have corn in it, so it's awesome to use. It doesn't have the aluminum in it, which baking powder typically does have aluminum. So what is this confusion around baking soda? And I had to like kind of wrap my head around it because I had seen some very reputable sources say, that baking soda had aluminum, and then you do thorough research and you see that baking soda doesn't. And I actually went to some of the supplier websites, and then again, I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I can trust what's listed as an ingredient or not, because it's really not even required to be listed by the FDA, just like corn is not. So what I started looking at is there is some confusion though, and around it, what is evident though? Okay, so here's really where it gets down to the nuts and bolts of we have to pay attention to the ingredients that we are bringing into our home, being the gatekeeper into our kitchen. So then when we are cooking and spending that time and energy, you don't want it to come out like a processed food. Okay, so like Arm & Hammer baking soda, and that was the brand that was discussed in the site as having aluminum. Whether or not it has aluminum in it, they have a completely meal chemical process. So the sodium bicarbonate that they sell is from a meal chemical process. And similar companies have that same thing. So, if we're bringing those types of ingredients into our home, and that's what we're using to make like our homemade ingredients, exactly how homemade and exactly how safe can we get? If I'm going to spend that time and energy, I'm going to tell you I want a good product. So Bob's Red Mill is a company that is sold like at Sprouts, and I mean they even have it at Publix in the nutritional section. There's those different sections on the aisles where it's a little bit more healthy. And there's some Bob's Red Mill products that we've done well with, and there's some that we haven't, just strictly from a gluten-free, corn-free standpoint. Okay, so I'm definitely not pushing a company. I'm pushing a chemical-free, toxic-free process, and really just trying to do better and the best that you can and bringing healthy ingredients into your home. So one thing that we did, even in, looking at, I love to shop online or look online first, because you can really get down, and find good, even on Amazon, guys, like there's really good comments and questions, and you can ask the question on Amazon before you go to Publix and buy it. You are not bound to purchase that from Amazon if that's where you start, but you do get those the good feedback sessions that way, and get customer feedback and testimonies from people who have used the product. So what we did in looking at like our organic ingredients and shopping better, and really diving in and asking the companies, hey, does this contain any corn derivative products? Does it contain any dairy? You know, you can ask those questions. Is it from a chemical process? Is it from, you know, are there toxins in this process? We changed a lot of our spices in our kitchen over to using essential oils. It's a preference thing. You can find some organic spices, and I have a good combination of both. But if you're using essential oil, you can get a bottle of oil, stick a toothpick down in it, and literally like spread it in your spaghetti, spread it in your chili, and get a good flavor. The thyme oil is one that my kids absolutely love, and that one is we put it in a bowl with olive oil or avocado oil, and use a brush to brush it on vegetables. And then before I bake them, before I roast them, roasted vegetables are one of the easiest meals. Last week or the week before, I made several posts about sheet pan meals that we were cooking here at home. They're really, really quick. I can put the stuff on the sheet pan, put it in the oven, sit down, do homework with the kids, pull it out, it's ready. Or, you know, anything else that you have to do. But they're very quick and simple, and again, like I said, easy cleanup. I don't want a complicated process. So I hope this discussion, like, feel free to comment below, like, what questions has it sparked for you? What items in your kitchen do you feel like you can switch out and make healthier, you know, alternatives to? Do you have a food sensitivity or a food allergy that you were concerned with as being part of an ingredient in a food? Do you even know what your food intolerances or food sensitivities are? It is so important. There is a lot of controversy between the topic, and sometimes it's because of lack of understanding between what an IgE is, and typically that's what your allergist is testing for, an IgA allergy, and an IgG. And the IgG is sometimes a delayed reaction. You may not see reactions, you know, they say up to 2 weeks. We have never seen one start that late, but they can be hidden. Okay, it can be a hidden throat, the throat tickle every morning, or the congestion in the mornings, a skin reaction. It can be, and I'm going to do a lot on skin reactions on my personal page. So if you are tuning in today, and thank you for those that are, I'm going to go live on my personal page and talk about skin, and I'd love for you to join me over there. But no matter what your reaction is, it is worth paying attention to. Okay, those reactions will cause so much inflammation in the body, especially in your GI system. They will cause a lack of absorption to occur. They will cause illness in the gut. They can cause autoimmune conditions, fatigue, hormone imbalances. I cannot scream that enough from the rooftops. That and skin conditions, and that's one thing that I'm going to talk about today over on my personal page. So if you have any inkling that something like any problem in your body, any symptom in your body could be caused by food, then we need to get down to the root of that. It is so hard to fix, like I mentioned, the hormones, the skin, the autoimmune conditions, without first addressing and pulling out those triggers that are constantly bombarding your body and just giving your body that overreactive immune system, so the immune system can't relax, so your body systems can't relax and act normal. Okay, so reach out. I will tell you, I'm finding in probably 60% of my clients that candida overgrowth is an issue. Our Western medicine diet is destroying the microbiome of our gut, and that mucosal lining that creates in there that is craving sugar, and it just is craving carbs, like if you're like, oh my God, I just cannot get rid of the sugar, the carbs, the soda, all these things, then you need to pay attention to that, okay? Because your body it's like gremlins inside your body going, feed me. And you know, there's these little things inside of you that want that sugar and they want those carbs, and cutting them out have such huge benefits. Because what you're taking as far as vitamins, I mean, like a lot of times people will just message me and say, hey, what can I take as a vitamin? And I'm like, I don't even know if your body's absorbing anything. So like, I don't know if we're wasting money by just putting something in your mouth and hoping that part of it absorbs down in the GI system. Or if your GI system's not absorbing anything, then it's like putting, you know, supplements and money in the trash. So let's not do that. Do not do that. Okay, we can work together and really find out like how to nourish your body and your system, what's happening. And at the same point, you know, talk about what's going on inside of you. What are these companies putting inside of the food and the ingredients that you're putting inside your body? Take it on as a, you know, just know it's worth finding out. I was going to say take it on a research project, but that's what I like to do. Okay, like as the project manager part of me and the business part of me just likes to really treat our bodies like it's the most important business and project ever. So I can do that for you. I can help you. But I hope this was helpful to kind of clear up what is the difference between baking soda, what is the difference between baking powder, what is this whole phenomenon, and just like question around like what contains the aluminum. And we are so familiar with that because so many people start talking about, and like we're seeing that Alzheimer's disease in our, you know, our elderly population, and some of us are getting there faster than we want to, and we do not want to see that happening in our generation. And so let's take over our health and wellness. Let's control that. Let's put the autoimmune conditions at rest the same way that we put cancer in remission. And it is completely possible. Even allergies. God, I had a sweet, sweet young 12, 13-year-old dealing with tons of allergies. She was on many singular Zyrtec, Flonase, all these different allergy medications on a daily basis, multiple times a day. And within just a couple of months, taking nothing. And we were literally heading down. It was so severe. We were talking about some sublingual desensitization, and her mom's like, "We're good, girl." Like, and that's what I like to hear. Okay, I want to kind of help you get to the root of what's going on, so you can come back and say, "I'm good, girl." Like, we don't need to go any further. And that's just music to my ears. And then we set that up so it, you know, lasts forever for you. Just that energy, because when all of those symptoms are gone away, it's like you've got your energy, you've got your desire to move forward because there's clarity, there's no brain fog. You're not confused about all these things that were going on in your body. All right, and don't stay confused about the ingredients either. I mean, these are just two very huge staples in our kitchen. And guys, I want you to know what's in here. Like the chemical mill processed could have gotten this, you know, some people talking, and then aluminum came out and all the confusion. But I do hope this clears that confusion. Again, post any questions that you have, and I will see you soon.